welcome people to another edition of Sound System Highlight. This time we go far to a place where many people might not know that there's sound systems or there's even a sound clash culture. So we cut across and we go over to Australia and we link up with a sound called Adrian Wall Sound from Australia. Big up, brother. Respect.
Love. How you doing?
One love, man. Every time. All good?
Yeah, man. Blessed. Had a good day. Been busy building boxes, getting glue everywhere.
Yeah. So you're building boxes this morning?
Yeah, all day from about 10 a.m. till about 5. So we're getting there slowly but surely. More sounds building up.
Okay. So to the world now, introducing Adrian's Wall Sound. Can you give the world some info? Which part of Australia you're from? How did you get into the culture?
Yeah, so I live in Melbourne, which is sort of down south, right at the bottom of Australia, over on the east coast. We're sort of the music capital of Australia, but I started with sound in the UK. So I started in a place called High Wycombe, which is sort of like halfway between London and Oxford, on the M40, like near Maidenhead and Amersham, if you know London at all, that kind of place. So I started in sort of ska and punk music as a teenager, and then really the sound system thing came after going to Carnival, Notting Hill. So you know, we've been collecting like King Tubby's records and Scatterlights and Ethiopians and Keith and Tex and all them kind of people, and just thinking it was, you know, just ska music, nothing else. And then obviously was just used to playing it like at home on a normal hi-fi and stuff. And then you go Notting Hill and you see, you know, Saxon and Channel One and Abashanti and Lord Ambassador and all them, and they're flinging bass line, and you're like, this all makes sense now. Those King Tubby tunes, like all those dub mixes, like I never really like as a teenager, I never really understood them. And then in my early 20s we went to Carnival, and it really did that. So it was 2007, Notting Hill 2007. We went Sunday, Monday, and then by Wednesday I had myself 2 18-inch drivers and 5 sheets of wood and no idea what I was doing. And I built 2 scoops with no internals in them. Literally nothing going on inside, just the thing, and then like a C shape. And took them to a dance and blew them up. Put new speakers in and blew them up. And then gradually just went on the internet, learned what I was doing, and then started building from there. So yeah, I definitely come from like the UK dub side of it.
The root side.
Yeah, the root side. Like normally if I'm playing a session, I play one turntable, Shaka style.
Okay.
You know, King David style. But I like all styles of reggae music, you know. You can't just play roots and culture, you got to play everything. And over here it's much more of a Jamaican kind of juggling style. Okay. And obviously dub plates and clash and all that. So I started cutting dubs when I was in the UK. So we built the sound in the UK in Wycombe, and I ran a monthly dance there, and then I ran like a sound system meeting. Okay. So I ran a monthly dance on my sound, and then I'd have other people come down and play on my sound. And then I ran another party, which was 2 sounds coming together, 4 scoops each. So we played like Abashanti, and we played Channel One, and we played Operation Sound from Blackburn, like that. And you know, like a proper roots and culture dance. And then end of 2011, I lost my job because of the GFC, the credit crunch.
Okay, yeah.
And my mum's Australian, and my brother was out here, so I got a passport. So my brother was out here. He was in Brisbane. He was like, "There's loads of jobs. Come over, get a job." Because I couldn't find work in England at all. Yeah. Like no. I mean, you know what it was like in the credit crunch. There was no work anywhere. So yeah, we moved over to Melbourne. I came to Melbourne because there was another sound system in Melbourne playing like a homemade roots and culture sound. And that was the reason we came to Melbourne, basically, because I had my pick of the cities, and there were at that point there were 3 sounds in Australia. There was Milton Earthshaker in Adelaide. There was Champion Sound up in Brisbane, run by a guy called John, and then there was Harticle High Power, which is in Melbourne. and Hartlepool was the only one that was doing like a monthly session. The other guys were doing like 2 parties a year or 3 parties a year, but Hartlepool had a monthly, and I was like, well, if I'm going to pick a city, I'm going to go where the music I want to play is played. So we packed the sound system up on a boat and shipped it over here. It took 4 months to get here. So yeah, left in November, showed up at the start of April. So yeah, it was quite long. And then we did a dance on the start of May 2012, and that was the first time 2 sounds had played in one arena in Australia.
Okay.
Quite a big dance, and that was hectic, man. Like doors opened at 10 and there was like 50 people queuing to get in. It was the first like proper session I've been to since I was there, since I arrived. And like, you know, place was lock off by 11:30. You couldn't get in. We went till like 7 a.m. It was madness.
Wow.
That was a great dance. That's one for the ages, that one. But yeah, since then we've just been trying to encourage people to build sound systems. That's really what I'm all about, is trying to get people to build physical machines. Obviously that's not necessarily everybody's idea, but yeah, I want to see it grow here. I want to see it, and not just in reggae music, you know, like we've got drum and bass sounds, we've got people playing techno and stuff, but the DIY, make it yourself, do it yourself thing. I mean, that comes from
have a sound system.
Yeah, it comes from the punk rock upbringing. You know, we used to do like shows in people's houses and all with homemade speakers and stuff, you know, just whatever we could do to make it happen, because no one was throwing any money at what we wanted to do. And there is no money in independent music. So you have to do it yourself, and if you want to do it, you got to do it properly. So so we just been doing that. And
so how was the transition from like the UK style, once you're set up now in Australia? How was the style change for you?
It was pretty easy, to be honest. Like I learned to mix when I was about 14, 15, like mix records, mixing like house and techno and trance. Because a lot of my friends where I grew up used to go to free parties, you know, like techno raves in the woods and in barns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like teenage business. So yeah, so we used to. So that's where I learned how to, like, you know, control a record and use a mixer and stuff. So I mean, juggling tunes. I was juggling tunes back in the UK. You know, if you're playing in a pub, people aren't expecting you to have gaps between your songs and everything. So you've kind of got to mold it to the right audience. But yeah, it's interesting. You know, I mean, I don't play bashment. I tend to stay away from sort of particularly slack lyrics and stuff like that. But you know, I'll juggle dancehall easily, juggle one drop, and you know, all the new roots, all this reggae revival, as they called it, you know, 5 years ago, Tronics and all them. Juggle those rhythms. You know, it's fun. It's fun to juggle rhythms. You know, so sometimes you don't want to play 15 minutes of one tune. You know?
True.
Don't have to play 7 dub cuts. You know. Not every audience is ready for it either. You know, and if you're doing the DJ thing, like the bar DJ thing, where you're playing like 1 hour or 2 hour sets, you can't play one tune for 15 minutes. You know, it doesn't work like that. You got to entertain an audience. So. But yeah, it's good, man. Like just trying to push the whole thing out here, and you know, trying to get. We've done some clashes. We tried to kind of instigate clash again, because there'd been quite a big clash scene in like the mid 2000s, like 2003 to about 2007.
Okay.
There was a few clash sounds in Australia who were cutting dubs quite regularly, going to Jamaica, and there was like 4 or 5 of them, and they had a couple of quite large. It's all before I got here, so I'm not too across exactly what went down. But they were doing that, and then it seemed like it kind of petered out. I think people kind of got older and had kids, and you know, life gets in the way of having fun. And so once we got a couple of other sound systems built up, obviously when someone builds a sound, you tell them they've got to get dub plate, because you can't have a sound system with a dub plate. You know, it's all good to have your own speakers, but if you're playing tunes everybody else has got, then
it doesn't make. Can you remember your first dub plate that you cut?
Absolutely, yeah. I cut Ing by Brother Culture. So it's a Mungo's hi-fi rhythm, and he did it, and I cut that in I want to say 2009.
Okay.
Yeah, like early 2009, maybe end of 2008. It's before we even really had like a regular party or anything. Like a friend of mine sent me a message saying he had him in the studio, and the price was very, very affordable. So I said yes, let's do it.
Okay.
You know, and then obviously we've been cutting a lot more since then. But it's not it's not something that we do week in, week out. It's something we do when the opportunity arises and it's the right artist. You know.
Okay.
Like I'm not looking to build a box of 3,000 dubs deep. You know.
Yeah.
I've got about 100 at the moment. That's plenty for
where you are.
Yeah, for where we're at. I mean, I reckon in Australia there's probably only 3 people who've got more than about 200 dubs.
Okay.
And most people have like somewhere between like 15 and 25.
Wow.
You know, it's not at the level it is in Europe, but then we're a long way behind. You know, we're playing catch up, and in the 8 years that I've been in Australia, we've gone from I was the 4th sound system. We got more than 50 now.
Okay.
In terms of boxes, like machines, people who built their rigs, and it keeps growing. Literally, like this week, I had 2 more people who I've never met before send me messages asking for designs and plans, and if I can help them source drivers, because I work in pro audio, so I work for an audio distributor here, so I got access to a lot of equipment like amplifiers and mixers and drivers and crossovers and cable and all that kind of stuff. So, I try to help people out where I can.
Yeah.
Because it's difficult over here. You can't buy drivers. You can't, there aren't many record stores that sell reggae. I mean, I know a lot of it's download now.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's
and
not
people
like
still request. They still request vinyl over there because obviously, you say people still use turntables and those stuff.
Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah, like particularly in the root scene over here, everyone's vinyl, pretty much. People might play specials off CD or brand new releases or their own productions, but the majority of it is if you haven't got it on vinyl, you ain't got it. But then in the dancehall side, it's all Serato and controllers.
Yeah. So would you say that there is an interest for Clash down there if the scene was to get bigger?
Definitely. We did. So there's a Jamaican guy called Stick Maribo, and he runs a thing called Jamaican Music and Food Festival. And he's been fundamental pushing reggae in Australia since the 80s. And to be honest, being a black Jamaican man in Australia, getting here in the 80s was difficult because Australia wasn't on that kind of level. It wasn't letting people in. We've had all kinds of weird foreign policy decisions from the up highs that I don't agree with. But yeah, so he runs this thing called Jamaican Music and Food Festival, which is massive. We have like 5,000 people come to it. They have like 5 stages. It's like a full festival. So we had who have we had? We had Bushman came out for it. Stranger Cole came out for it. Richie Stevens came out for it. I'm trying to think. Masai One, who's like Indonesian or something. But trying to get like some more of that. And he brought people like Taurus Riley with the full band. Dean Fraser and everyone. That was a wicked show. He brought Mad Professor out. He brought out what was the other one he did recently? Maccabee, who's my favorite MC of all time. Legit, man.
Yeah, man. Big up Maccabee for real.
Yeah, all my favorite sound tapes were Cipher. Legendary. I'd take them over any other sound any day of the week. Them lyrics are fire.
Yeah,
that was wicked. Did a full tour all the way around, out into the indigenous communities and everything. But yeah, he put together quite a big clash in 2018. So we had it was like a proper full blown, 6 sounds, 10-minute rounds, knockout sound. We had judges. It wasn't decided by the crowd.
And was each sound on their own sound system?
No, it was all playing through one. So we had two DJ setups. So you can plug your controller into a mixer, or use the CDJs or the turn, whatever it was, so that you can set one up whilst one guy's playing on one, the other guy's setting up on the next one. And that was proper. Like it went all the way down to a tune for tune, and there was probably over 1,000 people at the dance. And it was a big session. And we had one lined up for this year, but then obviously Corona hit, and done.
Who was the winner of that? Who was the winner of that one?
So the winner of that one was Chant Down Sound. So Chant Down they started in about 2000. I think they started cutting dubs, and Jesse. So that's Jesse and Russ Crucial, and Jesse runs a radio show. We don't have pirate radio here. We have community radio. So it's like sort of all the presenters do it for free, and no one gets paid and everything. And you become a member. You pay like 50 quid to become a member, and then that goes to the station, and then you get your name read out on your favorite show each week. But it means that it's independent music. You know, it's not like a Radio 1 where they say, "Oh, you've got to play
this and that.
These 10 songs, and you can pick 2 songs in the hour that are yours." It's not playlisted or anything. So Jesse's been running a thing called Babylon Burning on that for nearly 20 years now. Wow. So that's a Saturday night, 5 till 7. I was listening to it just before we got on this, actually.
Yeah.
But he plays like an hour of oldies and then an hour of new Jamaican stuff. So all the new dancehall and bashment and, you know, new bits and pieces. But from worldwide, but primarily he focuses on Jamaica. And he's done, you know, tours to Jamaica where they've taken, you know, 10, 15 people over there, done like a whole tour package where he's organized it all. And he's out there voicing dubs and cutting dubs for us whilst he's out there and, you know, getting people into studios. And they all went to Reggae Sumfest last time.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, it's good, man. And then we've got like over in Perth, there's a sound called Jar Wisdom, and I think he's been playing radio since like 1972.
Wow,
something like that on one of their community radio stations over there. We got another community show called Rhythm Yard that's in Melbourne, which does more like your rock steady and your kind of your classic oldies rather than up to the minute stuff. Up in Sydney, there's a couple of community radio stations that have reggae shows on them. There's a late night one that I never listened to because it's like 2 till 5 in the morning or something on a Tuesday. I gotta go to work, so I don't get time. But that's on a station called Triple R. So like we've got a very, very vibrant music culture. Like,
it sounds it.
But yeah, reggae is definitely it's been underground for a long time, and we're starting to get to that point now where it's particularly the sound system idea is becoming mainstream enough that it's crossing over into other genres. You get other kids coming to the dance. You know, you get kids who are definitely drum and bass kids or dubstep kids, you know, or techno people who want to come and hear the sound system because they've heard it's a different kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they're coming to check it out, and then they're going home and they're building their own rigs, which is all I really want. My end goal is to be able to not play sound system anymore.
Yeah.
I know, you know, I've been doing this for 13 years solidly, every minute of every day. That's all that we're on is pushing sound.
Yeah.
And I think another 10 years or so, I'll be able to take a back seat. And let it carry on. And you know, I want there to be dances every week in every city. That's the end goal. At the moment,
so are the clubs accepting the dancehall scene, Sound Clash, or is it that underground have to be like some underground club or something?
It's because we have so like Melbourne has the most live music venues per population of any city in the world. So we're incredibly blessed that there's a lot of places that we can go to. Convincing them to let us bring the machines in is a bit difficult. Like, I mean, the biggest party in Melbourne in terms of reggae is something called I Love Dancehall, and that's straight dancehall and bashment all night. You will not hear a roots tune in that dance. Period. And it's massive with the African crowd. We got quite a large like student population, like African student population. They sort of finish school in Africa and then they come over here, do their university here, and then so they're here for like 3-4 years, and then they go back and, you know, student visas and all that, and they're massive into it. And Afrobeat's taken off in the last couple of years. I'll be honest, I don't really know anything about that scene. It's not my vibe, but you know, but it's good. It's good that it's growing everywhere, you know. And we have, you know, More Fire has been running monthly for 17 years or something. And there's a dance up in Byron Bay on a Monday night that's been going for probably 5 or 6 years every Monday, and that's Ram Out. like create like 500,
Yeah.
800 people every month. It's a backpacker town, so they get a lot of transient,
Okay.
people who come for like 3 months and then move on somewhere else. So they get,
Mhm.
but they're there to party. So there's definitely a scene in it, and I mean, like the turnout is good, man. It's like in the UK, you go to a dance and there's 150 people there.
Mhm.
Like that's a good turnout. It's not just bars with 40 people in them.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
when we do the big dances, like when we string up 3 machines in one venue, then it'll pull 300 or 400 people. But you can't do those kind of things, super regular, because it
Yeah, yeah.
will lose the magic. It's like Clash. We couldn't have a Clash every week, but we can have one every couple of years.
Okay.
And it will
So you
pull
don't
people.
think you could do like a clash like 2, 3 a year with the amount of sounds in different locations, or
You could do like a thing over a year where you had like in each major city you could have a Clash. So you could have like one in Perth, because there's 3 or 4 guys in Perth who've got dubs. One in Sydney, there's 3 or 4 guys in Sydney who've got enough dubs to do a Clash. And then in Melbourne there's 7 or 8 guys. And then you could do like a rest of the country one. So do like 4 heats, and then the top 6 or maybe top 8 go to a Clash.
Yeah. Something like that. I understand.
Do like a big thing. But I mean, the logistics are crazy, man, because just to give you an idea, right, from Perth to Melbourne is the same as from London to Moscow.
Wow.
So it like legit, it's a 6-hour plane flight. It's not you can't just like
Jump in your car.
Yeah, you can't chuck your sound in a van and drive. That's like 4 days.
Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah, man. Our nearest city is Canberra, and that's 9 hours.
So everything's more or less based where it's based then.
That's it. It's so difficult to move interstate, like just to do anything. Like we brought a sound down from Sydney with their machine to Melbourne to play with me, and we did good. We had probably 140 people turn up to the dance, maybe 150. Pay their money to come in and everything, and all the money covered the van hire and the petrol.
Wow.
Legit, because it's that kind of distance. It costs that much money to move that much gear that far.
Yeah. And because the scene's so big with people playing on their systems, it's like you have to have it.
Well, that's what I'm trying to promote. That's where I'm putting my energy into. There's other people who are promoting other side of it. Like the first Clash that we played here, we did a session. We did 4 sound systems across 3 rooms. So we had one room, we had hip hop and like trap and what was the thing at the time? Yes, like trap was the kind of like the big in thing.
Okay.
And then in the next room we had like dance hall and jungle and dubstep.
Okay.
And then we had a room which was sort of reggae and dub. And then we had 2 sounds in there, and we took turns playing, UK style for I don't know, like 3 or 4 hours. And then we did a tune for tune, just a best of 10 tune for tune. And then we had YT from the UK. He came over and he did like an MC showcase after the Clash, tore the place apart.
Yeah,
he's wicked, man. He's such a good MC.
Yeah, but
so that was what, 2013 we did that, and then we've done a kind of some other dances where it's got to 3:30, 4 a.m. and you're just getting specials from then on. Or even at like, well, the first dance I played, the first 3 tunes were specials straight to my head. I was like, boy, what have I got myself in for here? I was going to play some Naya Bingi and warm the session in, burn some frankincense and some sage. But dances, you can never tell how a dance is going to go. It could be built to be friendly and end up pure war. It could be built to be war and just end up juggling. You have
to just be prepared.
Yeah, and that's why you take your records, you take your hard drives, you take everything, and you got to know your tune that you've got, and what tune can drop at what time, and how to play your sound.
True.
The separation. I think that's one of the things that's quite interesting about Clash here, is that it's not quite as what's the word, like formulaic as it might be in other places.
Okay.
So because we're all coming from different approaches,
yeah,
there's a bit more of like an individuality to the sounds.
Okay.
Which I think is good, really.
Yeah. Everyone's got their own identity.
Yeah, it's not, 6 guys all go suck your mother.
Yeah.
Which can get a little bit boring. I mean, I've been obviously with Corona and lockdown, I've been working from home, so I've been listening to a lot of Clash tapes.
Yeah.
And some of them, and like watching all these quarantine classes and things like that. And it's some of them are just quite dull. Other ones are fire though. But and the thing is, you can never know that until you tune in and you sit through the session.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, it's definitely something that I think there's a few people who are really actively trying to build dub boxes at the moment here. Like I can think of like 2 or 3 people who are really, who are definitely cutting dubs every month, if not every week. And and they're not cutting cheap dubs either. It's not all like, $100 artists.
Yeah.
They're spending the money on the big ones that I can't afford. Your Bujus and those kind of things.
Okay. It's good to know. It's good for the world to know those things.
Yeah, man. I mean, people are definitely putting the work in. I mean, that's the thing. It's just that because we're so far from everybody else, and it's such a it's such a different location and everything that it's not necessarily moving at the same pace as the rest of the world or in the same way. And I think that's good, really. I mean, I like the fact that everybody is different. Everybody sounds different. Everybody plays different.
Yeah.
If you're going to go and check this sound, you're going to get that kind of thing. If you go and check next sound, you go and get a different kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's variety is the spice of life. I don't want to go and hear the same 25 tunes.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah. It gets boring after a while.
That's it, man. I remember going to I used to do the sound for bashment dances up at the Hilltop in High Wycombe.
Yeah.
And I remember the DJs used to come in and like they juggle fast, man. Like 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds next tune. So they're doing like 100 tunes in an hour. And DJs would turn up 10 minutes before they're meant to go on, play 40 tunes that the guy before them just played, and then disappear 5 minutes after their set finish. You hear the same tune play 6 times in a night. And like, I don't know, I'm not really into that.
Sure, you have to hear the music.
I want variety, and I want it from everywhere as well. I don't just want to hear right up to the minute, and I don't just want to hear oldies.
Yeah. So Adrian's wall sound, like the name wall, obviously that means you've got a wall of speaker boxes.
Yeah.
So how big is your actual sound system itself?
So I've got 6 scoops.
And
then everything else that goes with it. So the kick bins, the low mid, the high mid, the tweeters, all the amplifiers, everything. Excuse me. So yeah, I mean it's pretty big. We can do sort of, I don't know, 600 or 800 people outside.
Okay.
Split it up into 2 stacks. I mean the biggest sound in Australia is Milton's Earthshaker. So he came from the UK. He used to run Jar Trinity back in the 70s. So they're from Gloucester. They used to play with people like Shaka and Fat Man and like proper back in the 70s when dub was dub and we'd never heard of Sleng Teng. So yeah, but I mean he's got monstrous things. He's just built himself some like 2-meter speaker. It's got like a 60-inch cone in it, and he built 2 of it. It's monstrous, and he's got all these 24-inch subs and scoops, and his sound is as big as the biggest sounds in the UK.
Yeah.
But I think 8 scoops is kind of like the max that you can really sort of justifiably use here. Once you go beyond, I mean, like no one's going to be putting out 3 stacks. We just don't have the audiences for it, and with the quality of high power amplifiers and drivers nowadays, 3 stacks is a serious amount of pressure. You need the audience to be able to absorb the pressure. Otherwise, you just got to turn everything down heaps, and then it just sounds kind of flat.
Yeah, it's not worth carrying it all in there in the first place.
It's not worth the effort. You may as well just take 4 boxes and play it properly.
True.
You know, because I like it when you drive the box to the limit, you get a different tone than you do when you play it soft.
Yeah.
You know? So if it's a small club, I'd rather take 2 boxes and play them hard than take 4 boxes and play them quiet. You know, and it's all about, you know, trying to respect the venues as well. We're trying not to, because it's such an unknown here. We're trying not to do that thing where like you get a gig and then you turn up and you bring all your boxes.
Yeah. You don't get
it back, and then they don't let you back.
True. You have to just try and level it.
That's it, because we're trying to build something. It's not about, you know, it's not just about trying to do one-off events that work. It's about trying to build something that will last. You know, for history. Like the objective is to change the face of reggae music in Australia forever. That's the end goal. You know, to establish it as something that enters the public conscience, not just the, you know, the underground scene and the reggae heads. It needs to enter the public area and become, you know, because in the UK everyone knows about reggae music. Everyone knows about dubplate. You know, talk to a garage MC, he knows about dubplate. He knows about Saxon. You know. True,
a lot of them come from that era.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, over here that isn't known. You know, you got kids who are into drum and bass and they don't know anything before 2005.
Wow.
You know, but it's a generational thing, and I mean the same will happen in the UK. You get kids who are like 17, 18 who don't know because they're young. They don't know. I didn't know that when I was starting. I didn't know what sound system was when I started buying King Tubby records.
Yeah.
You know, it's all part of growth, and that's the goal. Is we need to grow it as much as we can in as many ways as we can for Australia. That's what we're trying to do.
And it seems like you're doing it, man.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of work. It's worth it. It's worth it. I wouldn't do anything else. It's completely taken over my entire life. From the minute I heard my first sound system, literally from the minute I heard the bass line drop, Channel 1 corner at Notting Hill, that was it. I was like, this is it. This is me. I've been looking for this. I've been searching for this for 20 years. How did I not find this? You know,
so he's one of your biggest influences for sure.
Oh, absolutely, man. Like I used to carry a box for Channel 1. Like Mikey and Caleb taught me how to play sound. Literally, if it wasn't for them, man, I would not know what I was doing now. The first session I did with another sound, the first clash, you know, where you've got to play a dub plate back against, you know, when your idol plays a tune and you know that you've got a next dub mix that he hasn't got.
Wow.
you got to fling it back at him. Things get sticky.
Yeah. The teacher and the student.
That's it, man. But you've got to do it. You know, it's all part of learning and growing and trying to strive to be the best that you can be.
Yeah. How long would you say their teachings with them was?
Well, the whole time I was in the UK. So from like late 2007 up till end of 2011. So I was, if I wasn't at my own session, I was at their session.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was there from before doors opened to well after the doors closed.
Yeah.
Load up the van and then wait for the first train home.
Wow. So you went to the school.
That's it. Well, dancehall school, man. You got to learn.
True.
You can't make it up yourself. You know, certainly I can't. You know, it's not in my blood. It's not. You know, my parents didn't hand it down to me or nothing like that. I had to learn from those around me. So you got to take inspiration from what you can take your inspiration from. True.
That's it's good to hear that, man. Trust me. Very good to hear that. So what's next for Adrian's World Sound?
Well, the next major thing is my wife is building a sound at the moment. So housewife's choice. So trying to get that finished. And then once that's done and Corona lock off is finished, we'll put a dance on. Hopefully with me and housewife's choice with our sounds, and my wife can beat me up with her dub plate. And
so she's cutting dub plates as well, right?
Oh yeah, so she's been DJing. Well, housewife's choice have been together playing reggae music for 15 years, and she's been DJing for about 25.
Okay.
Since she was at school, she used to do a radio show, like on the community radio over there. at a university. So they had the university. She's from New Zealand, so they had the University of Massey in New Zealand. She used to do radio there, and so she was playing originally like house and techno and sort of dance music, and then she got into reggae when she was about 18. Started playing like drum and bass and all that kind of stuff, and going backwards, you always end up at roots.
Yeah.
It's the foundation. It's the cornerstone, which
true.
all the modern stuff is built on. So yeah, but I mean, like I arrived here and I heard their dub box and I was quite intimidated. And then life moves on and now we're married.
Okay.
But it's definitely trying to push that. That's kind of like the directly immediate objective. And then so once we've got that up and running, I really, really want to take both the sounds on tour around Australia, because we've got a big scene in Melbourne, but in the other cities they only really have like one machine or maybe two, and they're not necessarily equally balanced. So I want to be able to go around and do like a showcase and hopefully try and get a bit more momentum in some of the other cities, because it's definitely biased towards Melbourne. Like, in Melbourne we have about 25, maybe 30 sounds, and we got 50 in the whole country. So we got more than half in one city. But it's because that
spread.
Sorry?
It needs to spread for sure then.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, the idea is to get it equal everywhere. That's the goal. I want every little country town to have their own sound system run by a bunch of teenagers. That's what I want. I want it to be community. I want it to be that. So yeah, we'll do that, and then I guess look forward to this clash being being redone. So I think that will be early 2021, and then after that, just trying to put together a big multi-room, multi-genre event where we can highlight as many sound systems as we can. I'm hoping to get 5, maybe even 6 sounds involved in that. Just to kind of showcase, because one of the things that we've done a couple of multi-genre, multi-room events, and what happens is you get kids who turn up for drum and bass, and then they come check the roots and culture bit, and they get an education, and then they come back. It's like every couple of years I do this dance called Roots of Drum and Bass, where we play all the tunes that were sampled in drum and bass records, and then I get a bunch of drum and bass DJs to do a chronological like journey through drum and bass, like hardcore, then jungle, then the early 2000s, and then all up to the modern stuff. And then we finish the night with like tear out roots music, like dubite music, like steppers and that kind of thing. And the whole idea behind that is to get the drum and bass kids to understand the sound system and come to the sound system parties.
I mean, that's where it's coming from.
Yeah, I don't want to just preach to the converted. It's all good and well going and playing, reggae music to 50 people who love reggae music, but that isn't changing anything. I want to go and play reggae music to 50 people who don't know anything about reggae music.
True.
And they get an education, and they're going to go home and they're going to go buy a Burning Spear CD or a Dennis Brown record or whatever, and go and find out a little bit more about this incredible music and what it can do for them.
True.
So yeah, that, and then end goal, I kind of promised myself that before I turn 40, I'm going to put a festival on. So kind of running out of time. But we'll get there,
Time's a master with those things.
That's it.
It will happen at the right time.
That's it. Yeah, but no, we're putting the work in. I know it will take a couple of years to organize and whatnot, but we're established enough now, and we've got enough links within the music community, not just the reggae community, to be able to do stuff like that. But obviously, it's money. And we don't make any money out of any of this. This is all financed entirely out of the day job. It's purely a hobby. I'm not looking to try and make a living out of playing sound system. I don't think it's not viable in Australia, and also I don't want it to interfere with the purity of what we're trying to do. I don't want it to become a money thing. So with a bit of work and a bit of time, hopefully that's where we'll get to, and helping many more people build many more sound systems. And
so good luck.
Buy their records and You know, just trying to link people together so that we can grow. All of us can grow.
How is the artists? Is there reggae artists in Australia?
There are, yeah. So we have a fairly big. Oh, I wouldn't say it's not that big, but we have like a kind of like a band scene.
Okay.
Where there's kind of like your straight up, you know, your reggae bands. They're variable in their quality. Some are better than others.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, it's interesting because a lot of people try and do the band thing, but they're not like the singers aren't really experienced in sound systems, so they can't just come and ride a rhythm. They need to know the tune and stuff. So we're trying to get some of the singers to become MCs. You know, so I work a lot with a guy called Jar Tung, who's originally from Sydney, but he's moved down to Melbourne. He's put himself a band together, and he's wicked. Like he's wicked. He's made some seriously good music, and his lyrics are on point. And he's a conscious youth, you know, which is what we're trying to push. There was a band called Rasta Unity who did a whole bunch of stuff with Loot and Fire. They went over to Jamaica and recorded at Tough Gong, and you know, a whole load of stuff out there. I mean, there's the Push reggae band. They do pretty. I mean, they're a great band. We've probably got, I don't know, 10 or 15 like solid reggae bands in the country.
Okay.
And there's quite a few. Quite a few like old school like ska and rocksteady bands as well, like people who just play, you know, your classic Stranger Cole, Keith and Tex, all them kind of tunes, you know, covers and that kind of thing. There's quite a big scene for, like, you know, like in the UK skinhead scene, you know, like Boss Reggae, all that kind of stuff, you know, all your like your Trojan records and Punch records and all those kind of things. There's a pretty big scene for that, but it's definitely growing. I mean, in terms of like what the general youth seem to be pushing in terms of lyrics and MCs, they're all focused on grime now.
That's the same like the UK.
Yeah, grime music, and they're wicked MCs. They got lyrics for days. I just wish I could put them on a dance hall beat.
Maybe you have to try and convert them a bit, make them DJ the grime on the dance hall beats.
I've got them to cut dubs for me and stuff on, you know, on things like Sleng Teng and tempo and rhythms like that, you know, and they can write them, and the steppers beats as well, you know, because the stepper stuff it's 140 BPM, you know, it's not that far from dubstep, you know, and grime and dubstep are pretty tightly linked, at least in my mind. I might be totally wrong there, but they sound pretty similar to me in the production styles and stuff. But yeah, we definitely, I mean, like trying to encourage anyone to voice anything, you know, just get them voicing. But that's definitely where they're at. But I mean, reggae music it's just kind of stayed in the underground, and we really need to push it into the big time. One of the real big producers in Australia is Jake Savona.
Okay.
Who did that Havana Meets Kingston album. I don't know if you saw any of that. They had that at the proms, the BBC proms. They had them do that there with Randy Valentine. So we've had Randy out here a few times.
Okay.
And he's done, you know, he's a great singer. Like I remember when he put that album out of all the Studio One versions.
Yeah, that was a classic, man.
2010? It's like a year after Gappy put out his album, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that was made over in Switzerland, I wonder.
Okay. Yeah, but that was wicked. And yeah, so Jake's done heaps of stuff. He did Melbourne to Kingston was an album where he took a bunch of like Melbourne MCs and singers. It's probably 2007, 2008, before my time here. And he went over to Jamaica and he recorded a bunch of stuff over in Jamaica. He produced that I'm Living album with Sizzler.
Okay.
Which would have been about 2011, I reckon. And he did the single I'm Living, and then Pinchers did Guide Me O Jar on the same rhythm. He's done heaps of work with Prince Allah and Abyssinians and the Congos. We've had both the Abyssinians and the Congos out here playing.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean we're doing good. There's people making tunes everywhere, and like I'm not on top of it all. You know, I try my best. But this is the great thing is that when I got here, I was on top of it all, and you could know everybody who was involved in reggae music. Now we've got to the point where you can't know everybody because there's so many people in so many places.
So that means the scene's got big.
Yeah, and that's the goal.
Yeah,
that's the end goal for everybody. So it's real good, man. It's real good. Like we're real healthy here, and in another 5 years, 10 years, we're going to be super, super healthy. And I'm hoping in five to 8 years we'll be sort of where Mexico is with bringing artists over, because it's so expensive to get artists out here, man. So expensive.
Yeah.
Like just bringing like any just an MC.
Yeah.
Just come over and do not a band, Just the visa on its own is like £900. Just for the visa, and you're only going to get 4 shows out of them or 5 shows out of them, and you've got to pay them their show, and you've got to fly from every show to every next show.
Yeah.
It's like a European tour. It's not like planning a tour of the UK where you jump in a car and you stay at some bloke's house.
Yeah.
You got to get hotels and stuff because
it's so far apart.
It's all far apart, and you've got to finish a dance at 6, go to the hotel, sleep till 10, go to the airport, get on a plane at midday, fly 3 hours across the country, land at 3, go sound check. It's hard work. Touring Australia is hard work, man.
Some artists ain't gonna ease up on the price.
No, man, and and we're not at the position where we can afford to be paying, the same kind of prices you get in France when you're playing to 1,500 people in Paris or 800 people in Marseille or whatever. Like we're not putting those kind of numbers.
Yeah.
So, but it's the goal is to get to that point. That's what I want, and we will do it. It will happen. I guarantee it. There's enough people putting in enough work. So that's the thing, man.
That's good to hear, man. That is great to hear. So trust me, that there's a big scene that a lot of people are not gonna know. So this is, as I say, this was the chance for you to make the whole world know. So
that's it, man. And that's what I want. I want to make people know that in Australia we have sound, we have sound system, we have dub plate, we can clash, we can go with the best of the best. Rory Stonelove came over here and played. This is a long time ago, 10 years ago. I reckon he was here with Bitty McLean.
Okay.
Bitty McLean and Sly and Robbie came out and did a thing, I think in 2010 or 2009. And Rory came out and started playing all these Stonelove dubs. And then I heard the tape, and then these 2 other Melbourne sounds just pull out all their dubs and just go full bore for Rory, took him completely off guard. It's funny, man. I'll have to find the tape and send it to you. It's classic. Like it's proper classic. But yeah, so I mean, obviously the clash thing is the thing that you're real, like that's your side of the business. And we had the big thing in the early 2000s, and now we're at the point where we're ready to take it. And next year, 2021, there will be a big clash in Australia with at least 6 sounds, maybe more. It will be a full day night thing, and it will be a big dance.
Definitely.
Yeah, and hopefully one of the sounds will be at the position where they're ready to go and take on,
someone in UK and Europe and represent for Australia as an Australian sound to say, right, take on the world.
Absolutely, and I guarantee you that some of them are up there ready to do it. I mean, everyone says that their sound is the best, and if you're a sound man and you don't think your sound is the best, you need to pack up and go home, because you have to know it in your heart. If you don't know it, you're never going to win anything. And I've always said that it doesn't matter if you've got the best boxes or whatever. If you know that you are the best, then you'll achieve. But I'm not quite in the same league with some of the dubs and some of these other guys. I spend too much money on speaker box and amplifier.
No, but that's a good look, right? Trust me, sir. A good look. Is there anything else you want the people them to know about Adrian's Wool sound?
Just keep pushing it. That's all we're doing, man. I want people to know about all the sounds. That's the thing. Like I want them to realize that it's a big thing that's it's existed here for a while and it's been going on, and and we'll keep going, and we'll keep fighting, and we'll keep building more sounds. And that's the thing. And if you want to build a sound, feel free to contact me. Get me on the Facebook's probably the easiest way. I don't really do the rest of the social media business. It's all too complicated. I'm old school, man. Send me a CD in the post. But and like we cut all our dubs to polyvinyl. It used to be acetate, but it's all polyvinyl nowadays. So like I've got a friend in Melbourne who's got 2 dub cutting lathes. We got record press here. I put a record out 4 years ago with Maccabee and Dixie Peach and Reality Soldiers on it, like a steppers thing.
What's the name of the song? Make the world know.
Yeah, Be Yourself by Maccabee. That was the hit song off it. Shaka played it. Shaka played it at the Trocadero or Blackboard Jungle. Someone sent me the video and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe Shaka's playing. Shaka was playing my tune on test press before I had a test press. So that was quite something. But yeah, we're just pushing the sounds, trying to get people to build sounds. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you want some information on how to run it, because obviously my day job is designing sound systems for large scale installation. So like churches and schools and hotels and airports and train stations and things like that. So like my technical knowledge when it comes to sound is pretty good. Like I'm quite lucky, and all that's come like when I started like as an adult. I was a microbiologist. I went to university and studied science and got a job working in a lab. And sound system is my hobby, and it's become my day job because it's what I put so much work into. And if you put that much work in, you can achieve. Doesn't matter who you are, where you are in the world. If you put the work in, you can achieve. So that's the thing, and we're just trying to teach people the right way and how to carry it properly. And that's the goal. I want people to enjoy it and have a good time and have a good party, and maybe take home some good messages, some positive messages. It's what we try to promote. So, but every now and again we have to kill some sound boys.
Yeah. It's the only way sometimes, man.
That's it, man. That's it.
Yeah. Well, as I say, Adrians, War Sound from Australia. It's been a pleasure, bro, talking to you.
And big up, man. Big up, Mark. Yeah, man. And keep up the good work, man, because trying to spread this everywhere. Like I saw your interview with that brother from Brazil. That's wicked, because I didn't really know that they were cutting dubs out in Brazil. I knew about people like Digital Dubs who were like a sound system, and that's one of the other things. Like Housewives Choice is an all-female sound system, all female DJs, female MCs, female. Like, they built all the boxes themselves, they cut all the dubs themselves, they juggle all the tunes. No men in it at all. The only other one in the Southern Hemisphere is in Brazil. Mad. And that's I forget the name. I forget the name of it. But there's a couple. There's a few in the UK. There's a couple in Europe. There's a lady in Germany who's real big into pushing it. But the female side of it, and that's the next thing we want to push. Demonstrate it's it's not all just it's not a boys' club. Everybody's welcome. And
true.
It doesn't matter if you're 16 and you're just finding this, or you're 65 and you've been in this your whole life. It's all of us together, and that's the main message I'm trying to push.
True. All right, brother. Well, you've definitely pushed it today.
That's it, man. Well, big up, man. Big up, and keep up the works. And
yes,
I'm gonna go juggle some specials for you now.
All right. So people, there will be a dub mix from Adrian Wilson that will follow this also. So look out for that. And this has been a pleasure.
Different kind of dub.
Yes, different. And a big up all of Australia, everyone in the industry. Also a big up Mikey Glamour. I know Mikey Glamour's over there.
Yeah.
Also from the UK as well.
So. Done. Mike,
he's a
good friend of mine. He was the compere, the MC who MC'd the Clash. The last one.
Yeah, man.
He was very instrumental in pushing Clash in the 2000s with Nasty Tech. Him and Prince Andrew was the other guy, which is an unfortunate name today. You know, it was solid in the mid 2000s, but 2020, boy,
Tricky.
can't class with a name like that. But you know what I mean. But yeah, no, Mikey's massive with it. Big up Harticle pushing it from long time. Champion sound. You know, everybody everywhere, and like and on the Clash thing, big up Stick Maribo massively. He's put more work in than anybody else in trying to push Jamaican music over here. I push the UK side of it. I'm English. I come from the UK. The UK is my thing, but the Jamaican side of it, Stick is the man. And I just want to big up the other Clash sounds. So like Jar Wisdom, Future Sounds. Who we talk about? Rebel Bass, Housewife's Choice, 420. Chief Rockers, and there's a few more, man. It's bad. There's too many people for me to remember. But big up each and everybody, all the sound systems, all the dub collectors. Chant Down, big up Chant Down. Anywhere them there, the whole lot of it. Just big up everybody who's pushing reggae music all across. Yeah.
And I have to salute you and salute to the whole of the industry, man. Keep the culture banging. People, this has been Adrian's Wall Sound from Australia. Remember the name. Check him out on all social media platforms. Big up and respect once again.
Big up, Marcus. Big up, Sky's the Limit.
Man.
Adrian's Wall. Babylon kingdom must fall. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stand in the ways of sinners, but is delight in the law of the Lord God. On it he meditates day and night. Selah. For a new name, Jah God, and it terrible amongst men. Eden no like Jah name. For a new name, Jah God, and it terrible amongst men. Eden no like Jah name.
Yo, Jah. This man come to this mountain say, Adrian Wall, champion sound. Look, Jah, and live and say you hate him and die. Look, Jah, and live and say you hate him and die. Natty down in the valley for a very long time. Natty how you come over. Can't say no plane, no pass, and no breeze, no blow, can't chat and die over.
Now. To a promised land, going to a promised land. To a promised land, they got to a promised land. Remember, we've been dreaming of the promised land. Agent Wall gonna take us there, I say. Why? When we played in a style, say that wicked and wild. Agent Wall, the sound, the champion sound in the world. Whoa, Agent Wall. Worries in the dance, worries tonight. Agent Wall, that's the sound. Why worries? Worries in the dance, worries there. Agent Wall in the boat, yeah, worries. Six tanker on the corner, dog like dirt. Soldier in my league, no shot. Agent Wall is here to stay. Worries in the dance, worries tonight. Agent Wall, that's the sound. Why worries? Worries in the dance, worries there. Agent Wall, that's the sound. Why? Pass the cushion pen, pass it.
place must die. Who come clash must die. Adrian kill you now. Sound boy, no sound boy just a run up them bees now. One come test Adrian war so. I know all glitter a go. If you test Adrian, them a go bury your sound. Them a go bury your whole
Let her white to the T and King ruin a combination to the entire nation. Kick it!
Ninja no star. Adrians one. Word sound power, we a shell down the place. Mash up the place, boom up the bass. Rise when I fall, big smile from we face. Me say Adrians wall, rise when I fall. We do over evil up before age.
Yeah.
Such a rocky road, but we still a walk straight. King ruin at the place. And me say Whitey in at the place.
We say forward to life, forward to reality. Adrian's Wally play the music full of quality. Forward to life, forward to reality. Too much fatality becoming the normality. Forward to life, forward to reality. Peace and love, a Adrian philosophy. Forward to life, forward to reality. People don't listen to me. Cause me say what about them youth from the garrison community? Want a better life and never sight a opportunity. Babylon they not promote no love, neither no unity. Look for them dead so foolishly, caught up in this lunacy. Look and you will see the world is not the way it used to be. War and petty rivalry, that them what they used to be. See what they pan, divide and conquer, that's the strategy. Never let them trick you, never let them tell you who to be.
Adrians war, we a shell down the place. Mash up the place, boom up the bass. Rise when I fall, big smile from we face. Me say Adrians wall, rise when I fall.
Big sound sailed across the ocean, from London to Melbourne, Australia. We come fi kill a little jump on. Now here come the big sound called Adrian's Wall, straight out of Melbourne, Australia. You see me? Freddy Pandian. And what we do? Murder them. Sound boy, you get in a trouble, yeah. Adrian's Wall of the big bad sound. Straight from Melbourne to London town. You trouble this your sound, you will get hurt. Yes, it will always bring strife, cause no trouble, wanna trouble you, boy. Adrian's Wall will kill you tonight. Choose war, you must go wrong. Dead in the dance tonight, cause you shouldn't put your hand in the fire. You trouble fire and you must get burned. Make you put your hand in the fire. Trouble Adrian's Wall and you must get burned.
Fire burn some little sound boy, make them know so them can't test Adrian's Wall. Okay, boom. Na. Adrian's Wall I go kill some sound. We have burn them down, run them out of town. That one your name, inna your face, them a smile up. Inna the class of the plate we pile up, yeah. This Adrian's Wall and your plans, we go spoil it up. Watch ya now, sound dead. Adrian's Wall I go kill your sound.
Yes, I am Maccabee alongside the big sound out of Melbourne City, Australia. The one and only Adrian's Wall. How some sound going like them great and they never play a 45, never mind a dub plate. How them sound are going like them great Adrian and they never even cut a real acetate. Them sound win a real. Oh, you a sound man and you never cut a real dub plate. Never cut a real acetate. You're a selector and you never play the real dub plate. Never cut a real acetate. Yo, Adrian's Wall know the vibe. When you hold a 45 with him coming at the middle fingers on the outside. Block vinyl about 7-inch wide. Information on the label, music on the two side. Adrian's Wall is a sound that me rate. Him know the 45 and him know the dub plate. All of him dub dep and real acetate. CD thing I him no rate. You never play the real dub plate. You never cut a real acetate. Oh, you a sound man and you never play the real dub plate. You never cut a real acetate.
In on the ing, Adrians wall, them a fling down the ing. Coming on the dance with precise timing. Tell them this your sound of the dancehall king. Because me wall them in a ing. He rubbing everything where Adrian is playing. Cause when me get married, why put on the ring? Einstein was renowned for his thinking. Shakespeare do a lot of playwriting. But we know that you can do some reading. Poor man in the ghetto and the strict suffering. Poor man sit down while which one walking. And words and moderation when Adrian come in.
Tell him already, we are tell him again. Tell him already, we are tell him Adrian while a herbalist. Aye, we are herbalist. Badang dang them aye. Tell him already, we are tell him again. Tell him already, we are tell him Adrian while a herbalist. Aye, we are herbalist. Badang dang. Me also would you feel if you wake up one morning and saw a big fat ganja spliff lay down on your jaw. You want like this spliff, but you know that you can't. Somebody thief your lighter. Yeah, well, here's the Adrians wall. Watch a top cat say the roughest thing of all. Up to them sound boy there. Want to test the great Adrians wall. You happen. You don't know say any force test. Me tell them say. Well, I hear some boy talk and I pass a remark. When mine we get dark, and we no skin not laugh. Half we hip we pop off. Excess amount of things are going. Adrians wall and top cat, we no afraid for bus can. We tell the people them say. After we win the song, cause Tycho lost the champion sound system. Everybody them said you respect. That's how we bust up the dance and we mash down the place. And I appear don't plate where we make. When me say let me tell you no this. If I float you think we float this sound clash. We have a job in it establish how we're well versatile. And we are job for the English. Get away with telling some boy. Me you tell them no for what you talk. This Adrians wall mind will start to get dark. Some boy me you tell them no for what you talk. This Adrians wall mind will start to get darker. Show is somewhere down brag and show off. Joke with steers on your checks so we suffer. Disrespect and try past the marker. We get big some we start get dark. Argument done down this song clash start. Joke we come for joke you like a damn poison dart. Chop up your sound and left it on the sidewalk. But the story you get for no so that we not style. Rude boy me you tell you no for what you talk. This Adrians wall mind will start to get dark. Rude boy me you tell you no for what you talk. This Adrians wall mind will start to get. Adrians wall is the best and the greatest and we on it. Fe chuck it and big up fi we chase. Enough fi we show certain sound can't step. They buck up in a Adrian and a headstand. That show way a dapper. When you see the Adrian you fi talk to it proper. How we run things outside of the border. Test the Adrians wall and that a murder. We tell them honor any boy Adrians wall we would afraid of. This is Mr. Cat the DJ Dapper Dan. And anytime I pass through dance off a ram. All Melbourne massive you fi push up your hand. Australian massive you fi push up your hand. And all of the club none of fi push up your hand. And take it from the cat up and the microphone a stand. And with the lyrics from them mouth and the mic in my hand. And when time we pass dance all of a ram. So all of them massive you fi come China. We tell them, we tell them, we tell them. A rude boy me you tell you no for what you talk. This Adrians wall mind will start to get dark. Rude boy me you tell you no for what you talk. This Adrians wall mind will start to get. After we win the song class like a last the champion sound system. Everybody them said you respect. I show we bust up the dancer. We mash down the place and appear don't play it where we make. When me say let me tell you no this. If I float you think we float the sound clash.
We are go show we need the style for show. We well versatile and we are job for the English. Get away we telling some boy. Me ya tell enough for watch how you talk. This Adrians while mine was stuff it get dark. Some boy me ya tell enough for watch how you talk. This Adrians while mine was stuff it get. Not a mercy I tell them Mr. Cat number one DJ. Not a mercy. Said lot of mercy, aye. Yes, the cat and I the begin of the okay. Lot of mercy, said lot of mercy, aye. Tell them it's the cat number one DJ. Lot of mercy.